and welcome to First Church Unitarian Littleton's virtual Sunday service. And welcome to 2021. My name is Cindy Malley, and I am honored to be one of your deacons. Please be sure to check your community matters in your email for upcoming information, as well as things like today's order of service. I would like to lift up two things from community matters this week. Tomorrow night, COPE, which is caring for our aging parents, is meeting virtually. And on Tuesday, there'll be a discussion of the proposed tiny library. Both groups will be meeting virtually at 7 p.m. and you can find the Zoom links in your Community Matters email. Thank you and welcome to worship.
Good morning. This is Molly Lozeau, your music director. I want to introduce, and the mini music director, Natalie. I want to introduce the Prelude today. You'll be listening to a piece called Limbo by Ludovico Einaudi, who is a classical piano composer, a contemporary one, which is pretty cool. If this is a piece you hear and you're like, "Ooh, I want to hear more," you can search for him on YouTube and find lots of recordings of him playing and other people playing. Again, his name is Einaudi, his last name. This piece is called Limbo, and he likes to write a lot of pieces that kind of explore thoughts and feelings. And I think this feeling is limbo in the sense that your mind can wander a little bit and there isn't too much structure and there's some looseness and things like that. So here is Limbo by Ludovico Einaudi.
Today, we contemplate the mysteries, the mystery of birth, the mystery of existence, the mystery of death. Coming from the great beyond, pausing here a while, and going back. We hold each other in our times of sorrow and loss, remembering together those so dearly loved and so recently passed. We magnify each other's joy in sharing the news of a birth, a new life in our own circle of family and friends. May we together find meaning and hope in the mysterious cycles, the wondrous circle of life. May we find some peace in the truth that passes understanding. May we appreciate this morning, even as we know we must let evening come. May we enjoy all the day, touching the earth and reaching the sky. Let us worship. We will be led in our chalice lighting this morning by Sierra Miller.
Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth and love, and to help one another.
Good morning. So great to be with you here this morning. Thank you for being here. This is First Church Unitarian in Littleton, Massachusetts. Welcome to our virtual worship service. My name is Lara Hoke, and I'm so happy to be the minister serving this amazing congregation. If you are new online with us this morning, if you're not familiar with the congregation and would like to learn more, there's a lot you can find at our website, fculittle.org. And you can even go there and see fculittle.org/new-here. And you can fill out an online pew card there if you want to be on our newsletter mailing list or be contacted by us. So make sure you take advantage of that if you would like. A few thank yous today, just quickly. Thank you to Mike Pillman for helping us out technically. Thank you to Sierra Miller for doing our chalice lighting this morning. Thank you, of course, to Malley, Lozeau, and also to Natalie for music this morning, and to the church choir. Thank you to our deacons, Cindy Malley, Andy Leonar, and Bill Dustin. And thank you to Tatum Hammer for doing our time for all ages. And oh yeah, and Eliza also helps out. So thank you all. I hope I haven't forgotten anyone. We are, of course, on Zoom this morning, which is a little different from being on YouTube Live. A couple quick reminders. You can, in Zoom, pick the speaker view or the gallery view. If you pick the speaker view, whoever is speaking, for instance, right now, me, that face will be bigger. Or you can pick the gallery view and see all the smaller faces at once. And you can go back and forth between those two without disturbing anyone else. And I am recording this morning's service, and I will be able to blur you out individually if you wish. So if you wish that, let me know. Just send me an email to minister@fculittle.org. Okay, I think that's it for opening words.
And remember to stay muted, please.
Oh yes, thank you. Please stay muted unless you're actually speaking during the service. And please don't use the chat function during the service, or at least not chat everyone. Thanks, Mike. All right, and then Molly will introduce our opening hymn.
Our opening hymn today is number 57. And again, you'll see the words on the screen so you can sing along. And we have a special treat for you today, and hopefully in the continuing services. Mike and I, and I'm sure other people, have been working on getting recordings of previous services and extracting audio from them. So today, all of the hymns that you will be singing with yourselves. We will hear the whole congregation singing. So here is number 57.
This morning's Time for All Ages comes from the UUA's Tapestry of Faith program, A Tale from Madagascar, told by Tatum Hammer with some visual assistance from Eliza. So enjoy.
Good morning and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
This morning I will be reading a folk tale from Madagascar called Why Death is Like the Banana Tree. Long, long ago, when God made the first human beings and prepared to put them on the earth, God asked them if they would rather die like the moon or like the banana tree. The people did not understand. They did not know how to answer God's question. They wondered what it was to die. What would it be like to die like a banana tree? What would it be like to die like the moon? They asked God these questions. God explained, "The moon dies every month. It slowly but surely gets smaller and smaller in the sky until it is only a tiny silver sliver. And then it is reborn and grows bigger every day until it is round and full in the sky. Every month it is the same. The moon grows smaller and then bigger in exactly the same way, over and over again, forever." The humans thought about this. They weren't sure they liked the idea of getting smaller and smaller until they died, but it was reassuring to think they would always be born again. "What would it be like to die like the banana tree?" one asked. God answered, "The banana tree must die. It will never come back. But first, it puts out green shoots that grow up to be a new banana tree. Before dying, the banana tree helps to create a new life." "Which one will you choose?" God asked. The beings considered this for a very long time. Which should they choose? They talked about it all night long, looking into the sky to watch the moon, which was beautiful and full. If they chose the moon, they would never die. But life might get boring and lonely. They would only ever have each other for company. There would be no one else. If they chose the banana tree, they would have children to love. But in time, they would get old and die. Finally, they decided they would rather experience the joy and miracle of bringing new life into the world, even if it meant they would not be reborn like the moon. They told God they would rather die like the banana tree. And so it was that the first people chose love. They had many children together, and their children had many children. Their children filled their hearts and lives with love and joy for all the days of their lives. Finally, when they were very old, the time came for the first humans to return to the earth, never to come back, just as the banana tree does when it dies. Since that time, all beings must die and make room for new life to grow.
Thank you. My reading is by David H. Eaton, and it's titled A Common Destiny. All living substance, all substance of energy, being, and purpose are united and share the same destiny. All people, those we love and those we know not of, are united and share the same destiny. Birth to death, we share this unity with the sun, earth, our brothers and sisters, strangers, flowers of the field, snowflakes, volcanoes, and moonbeams. Birth, life, death, unknown, known, unknown. Our destiny, from unknown to unknown. May we have the faith to accept this mystery and build upon its everlasting truth.
This congregation is, as you know, self-supporting, and as such, we rely on the generosity of our members and friends. If you are able this morning to make an offering or a pledge payment to First Church Unitarian, you can send in a check to First Church Unitarian, Attention Assistant Treasurer, 19 Foster Street, Littleton, Massachusetts, 01460. Or you can go to the website, fculittle.org, and click on the yellow donate button. This morning's offering will now be given and received in grateful appreciation.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I'm whispering again because he told me.
The offertory today is,
Remember me.
it comes from the movie Coco, which is a Pixar movie that came out in 2017. And it talks a lot about the Dia de los Muertos, but we thought it would be appropriate to play today.
Remember me, so I have to say goodbye. Remember me, don't let it make you cry. Now that I'm with you, I hold you in my heart. I sing a secret song to you each night we are apart. Remember me. So I have to travel far, remember me. You must a guitar, know that I'm with you, the only way that I can be. Until you're in my arms again, remember me.
Oh, oh, Natalie. Oh, so good. I'm not crying, you're crying. Thank you so much. That's so great. So as you know, many things about worshiping online are hard. But occasionally there's an opportunity that's actually kind of special and nice. And this morning for Remembrance Sunday, it gave us the opportunity to share pictures of some of the people that we have lost, some of those people dear to us, loved ones that we have lost in this past year. And so for those of you who sent in photos, they are included in this video montage.
In this past year, we have lost irreplaceable family and friends so dear to us. Some close at hand, others far away, all just sorely missed. We will begin by lighting a candle for Tom Cowan. We had an informal gathering in the sanctuary shortly after Tom died in early March, and just before we began social distancing. Some of his closest friends and family are planning a memorial service for him in 2021. We miss our friend Tom dearly. Now, I invite anyone who wishes to tell us briefly about a friend or family member who has died this past year. Please tell us your name as well as the name of the person you are remembering. Please raise the blue hand in the participants function of Zoom, and we'll call on you. And we'll then call on those raising their hands, actually. And we'll see you. Laura will light a candle to remember your loved ones as you speak.
If you're on the phone, *6 will unmute and *9 will raise your hand.
I see David Butts.
My college roommate, Jim Moody, and a dear friend, Bob Hardy.
Thank you, David. I see Rick Gentleman.
Oh, her hand's raised because there it says lower hand.
Rick, Eleanor.
Dee Russell, Milt Libby, Carol Oman, Rob Watson.
Thank you. I see Deb and Phyllis.
My beloved sister-in-law, Betsy Vaughn.
Thank you. I see Catherine Fallscraft.
Bud Hunt, who was a very close friend and my friend Wendy's partner. He's not known but by the wider congregation. He was kind and gentle, and we miss him dearly.
Thank you. Debbie Aston.
My amazing mom, who passed away on January 10th before knowing COVID and this world. And at 92, I miss her very much.
Thank you. Lynn and Tom.
My brother, Hugh Jordan Courtney, passed away just short of his 88th birthday.
Thank you. I see Peter and Lynn Sina.
My aunt, Catherine Jones, who was a pretty amazing and socially active woman, a former Catholic nun and a PhD in history. She came to spend her last few years with us here in Massachusetts.
Thank you. Karen Tucker Barzano.
Yeah, that would be my godmother, Aunt Esther Marcioni. She was an avid golfer and 92 years old when she passed away unexpectedly.
Thank you. Peggy?
Remembering my cousin, Wendy Stan.
Thank you. Luann and Hugh.
Remembering my nephew, Douglas Matthew Vartanian, died at 31. He'll be missed.
Thank you. Juliana, sorry.
My mother, June, and our cat, Skokie.
And my crayfish, Pinky.
Thank you. Wendy McDougall. Wendy?
We saw your lips moving, but we didn't hear you.
Thank you. I can't see her, I'm sorry.
But we hear you now. Go ahead, Wendy.
My brother-in-law, Alan Burgess. We don't have audio?
No, you're good.
No, you do. We can hear you. We can hear you now.
Now we do.
Could you say that one more time, Wendy?
My brother-in-law, Alan Burgess.
Thank you very much. Sarah and Charlie Weeks.
My father, Leonard Kress, who passed away on October 8th at the age of 89.
Thank you, Sarah. Joel and Pam.
Yes, I wondered if people noticed there was a drawing in those photos. That was my stepfather, and it was a drawing of somebody, from somebody that was actually a groupie of his. He belonged to a band and he played harmonica. He was self-taught and he had a beautiful singing voice and he brought a lot of joy. And this groupie was very artistic and she drew that picture of him. We have it framed in our home. So we will very much miss him. In fact, we should have been there with him at this time down in Florida if he had still been alive. So we want to honor him, and wherever you are, Ed, we love you.
Almost made it to his 98th birthday.
Yeah.
And I also included a picture of a very, very close friend, David Friedman, who introduced Pam and myself and had been a friend of mine for 46 years.
Thank you, Joel and Pam. Lori Nearing.
I'd like to honor three people. My aunt, Gail, who is the last remaining person of the generation on my father's side. My aunt, Murray, who passed away recently, last remaining person on my mother's side of that generation. And my cousin's son, who passed away too early, Chris Brown. Thank you.
Thank you. Leslie Whitehouse.
My cousin, Tim Turner, passed away this summer. And he was alone in his apartment when he died. That one makes all of us sad. His sister was able to go back to the funeral over the summer, which I was glad for. And one of my best friends from high school, Ginger Scott Erlander, she passed away this summer as well from battling cancer multiple times, and she finally didn't make it.
Thank you, Leslie. I see Anne has her hand raised.
Yes, my stepbrother, Barry Eastman, died a year ago today of complications of esophageal cancer. He is missed.
Thank you. Emily Ferrara.
It's my dad, Ray Ferrara, passed away this summer. He was 96 years old.
Thank you, Emily. I do not see any more, but I see Rochelle has her physical hand up. Rochelle.
My beloved miniature poodle, Frankie. I miss him.
Thank you, Rochelle.
Bev's here.
My Uncle Paul Carlson at the age of 99, last of the Carlsons.
Thank you, Bev. I see Caroline Marvin has her hand raised.
My mother, Betty Marvin, and my companion, Daisy.
Thank you. I see Lorinda has her hand raised. I can't hear you, Lorinda. I can see your mouth moving. Okay.
How is Lorinda listed? I might try to unmute her.
Okay.
No, what's the name on the screen?
It's Araya Fast.
Okay. I'll ask to unmute, see if that helps.
No. Would it be possible for them to type the name into chat, and then after we do the raised hands, I can check chat and speak for them?
That's a great idea.
Would you guys take a moment and type it into the chat, and I will read out your name, if that would work for you. Okay. I saw Bill Dustin had his hands raised.
Yes. I'd like to light a candle for my nephew, Seth's wife, Heidi Sheriff Dustin, who died this year with complications of breast cancer. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. And I think I just saw Deborah Johnson raised her hand.
Yep, that's me. My 2-year-old cat, Petey, got lost him in June. He wasn't being safe in the street, got hit by a car. First time it's ever happened to one of our outside cats. So that was devastating, but we welcomed a new one, Jeannie.
Thank you, Deborah. I am looking for more physical hands. Oh, I see you, Barbara Whitcomb. Barbara, you're muted right now. You'll have to unmute.
I think Joyce is next.
Oh, you see, okay.
Barbara, I will try to cue you to unmute. Oh, hang on.
There we go.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Barbara.
One of my best friends from high school, Jean Champagne, her death was from COVID. And many, many other of my acquaintances, but I will just name Jean this time.
Thank you, Barbara. Mike
I asked
St.
Joyce
George.
to unmute.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Joyce. I'm looking for you on the screen, but we don't hear you, Joyce.
Joyce, it looks like you're unmuted. If you try to speak, we might be able to hear you.
Okay.
We can hear you.
All right. This is from my nephew, David Chesney. He's a retired minister. He died at 72 after falling on the ice in his own driveway.
Thank you, Joyce. Are there any more physically raised hands? I'm looking at a few screens looking.
Renata.
Renata?
Be sure to unmute.
Yeah, okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. We are thinking of my sister's husband in Germany, who was a very good friend to my husband, now here and to us. And he passed away after the beginning of this year, in February of this year, from many terrible complications. And he suffered so much, and he endured it so graciously. It is unbelievable. And he was just a wonderful person. And we are grateful for so many good memories we have with them together when they visited us in this country several times. And we are just so grateful for that. And we miss him terribly. Thank you.
Thank you, Renata. Are there any other hands?
We do have some digital ones now.
Oh, we do? Okay, let's see. Thank you. Chet?
Yes, I'd like to light a candle in honor of my dad, Ozzy, who made it to 100 years old and lived a fantastic life, just as sharp as can be to the end. He won his last card game, which is pretty typical of him. It's pretty hard to beat. Thanks.
Thank you, Chet. Sabra?
My nephews, Mike and Andy Maldonado. Have an echo.
Thank you, Sabra. Leslie, I see your hand is raised.
Yeah, I realized I turned on my camera when I said something about my cousin, but my picture that's up there right now has his sister, Debbie, on it. And I wanted to say that. And also, this is an embarrassing candle, but I think it speaks to the racism in the world. My adopted brother, Cody, his half siblings all live in Indian country, and I don't know them all. And 2 of them passed away from COVID this year. So I did want to put up an embarrassing moment that I can't remember their names, but I wanted to say that I'm thinking about them.
Thank you, Leslie. I saw in the chat that Neela wanted to speak.
No, I just wanted to fix my raise hand button. I couldn't find it.
Okay. Are there any more physical hands or virtual hands that I am not seeing? Okay. Unfortunately, I don't see the name that Lorinda and Araya wish to share in the chat. I'm sorry for that. I don't have it. Okay.
Is that everybody?
I believe that's everyone.
If we missed anyone, please unmute and speak now.
This is Anne Ciota. I'm sorry, I stepped away. Are we doing, is this, I know we finished saying everybody who, can you hear me?
Yes, this is people we lost this year.
Okay, are we doing hopes and joys now? I missed, or is that later?
No,
go ahead, Cindy.
I'm sorry. Right now we're sharing the names of those who have passed away in the
Still doing
past
that.
year.
Okay.
Yes.
I have nothing to say here. Okay.
Thank you, Anne.
I think we've got everybody.
I think so.
And now we will hear the words of Virago Diop. The dead are not dead. Those who are dead are never gone. They are there in the thickening shadow. The dead are not under the earth. They are in the trees that rustle. They are in the woods that groan. They are in the water that sleeps. They are in the hut. They are in the crowd. The dead are not dead. Those who are dead are never gone. They are in the breast of the woman. They are in the child who is wailing. They are in the firebrand that flames. The dead are not under the earth. They are in the fire that is dying. They are in the grasses that weep. They are in the whimpering rocks. They are in the forest, and they are in the house. The dead are not dead.
Thank you. Once again, we have the opportunity to use video and share a photo montage of some of the new loved ones who entered our lives this year. Loss is leavened by the joy of newcomers coming into our family. I invite anyone who wishes to light a candle to celebrate a child that is dear to you, who was born in the past year, whether from our FCU extended family or beyond. As before, please use the blue hand in the participant function of Zoom, and we will call on you. After that, we will call on the real life hands that we see raised. Please tell us your name and the name of the child. Reverend Lara will light a candle as you speak.
If you don't see the hand and participants, look in the reactions button at the bottom of your screen.
Thank you, Mike. I see Debbie Eston.
My great-nephew, Samuel Rutherford Gruner, was born on August 5th to my wonderful niece, Michelle, and her husband, Will.
Thank you, Debbie. I see Chris Ursland.
Hi, this is Peter, actually.
Okay.
3 new great nieces born this year, Greta and Alice Ursland, twin sisters, born in August, and Grace Catherine Whitlock, born in November.
Thank you, Peter. David Butts.
Jade Pauline Cloutier, born to my stepson Joseph. 2 weeks old yesterday.
Thank you, David. Carolyn McCreary.
Fuji Spring McCreary. He was born to my son, in Japan, and my first grandchild, and we received a video of his first laugh of the new year.
Thank you.
I can't hear you.
Thank you. Rochelle Chambliss.
Caleb Maggio to some dear friends.
Thank you. Patty Sardella.
My great nephew, Miles J. Miranda. That's my niece's new baby born on Christmas Eve.
Thank you. Peter and Lynn.
Yes, our first grandchild, Nora Ellen Cena Burns, born to our daughter Rachel and her husband Alex on December 14th.
Thank you. Prizzle.
My grandnephew, Dylan Callaghan.
Thank you. Cheryl.
My great niece, Henrietta Cowley, known as Hattie.
Oh, thank you. I do not see any more virtual hands. So if I'm looking for physical hands now. Oh, I see Barbara Whitcomb. You're still muted. Oh, we're good now.
Okay. Cora Hicks. Her dad is Stetson Hicks and his wife, Layla. And she was born in July. And another one, Gavin Hicks, the son of my granddaughter, Kara, and her husband, Patrick, born in September 2020. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you. Looking for physical hands. I believe, unless if I'm missing someone, I believe I no longer see any physical hands. If anyone would like to speak and I'm somehow missing you, you can unmute. No, I believe we've probably gotten everyone.
We have quite a lovely display of candles in.
Where were you before you were born? By Thich Nhat Hanh. Sometimes people ask you, when is your birthday? But you might ask yourself a more interesting question. Before that day, which is called my birthday, where was I? Ask a cloud, what is the date of your birth? Before you were born, where were you? Well, if you ask the cloud, how old are you? Can you give me your date of birth? You can listen deeply and you may hear a reply. You can imagine the cloud being born. Before being born, it was the water on the ocean surface, or it was in the river, and then it became vapor. It was also the sun, because the sun makes the vapor. And the wind is there too, helping the water to become a cloud. The cloud does not come from nothing. There's There's been only a change in form. It's not a birth of something out of nothing. So sooner or later, the cloud will change into rain or snow or ice. And if you look deeply into the rain, you can see the cloud. The cloud isn't lost, it's transformed into rain. And the rain is transformed into grass, and then the grass into cows, and then into milk, and then into the ice cream that you eat. Today, if you eat an ice cream, give yourself time to look at the ice cream and say, "Hello, cloud, I recognize you." By doing that, you have insight and understanding into the real nature of the ice cream and the cloud. You can also see the ocean, the river, the heat, the sun, the grass, and the cow and the ice cream. Looking deeply, you don't see a real date of birth, and you don't see real date of death for the cloud. All that happens is that the cloud transforms into rain or snow. There's no real death because there's always continuation. A cloud continues the ocean, the river, and the heat of the sun, and the rain continues the cloud. Before it was born, the cloud was already there. So today, when you drink a glass of milk, or a cup of tea or eat an ice cream, please follow your breathing. Look into the tea or the ice cream and say, "Hello to the cloud." Sorry, everybody.
All right, next we're going to be singing hymn 369. This is the truth that passes understanding. It's a shorter hymn, so I would love to have us sing it through twice. You'll see the words on your screen, or if you have the hymnal, you can look there, or if you would rather listen, you can do that as well. Again, we have the whole congregation for you to hear.
Whatever else one might say about this past year, no one can deny that we have learned a lot. We have learned so much about ourselves and our world this year. Much of what we have learned the hard way. Every year here at FCU, we have a Remembrance Sunday. And of course, every year we say goodbye to dear loved ones, and we welcome dear new ones too. COVID-19 and the pandemic means that the world has lost more loved ones than in a normal year. The world has lost about 2 million souls to this disease to date. Here in the United States, we have lost almost 350,000 precious human beings. A few of those were among the photos and the names that you saw and heard this morning. We have been reminded anew of the fragility of life and of the sacred value of that which can never truly be replaced. Because of the pandemic and social distancing, we have been thrust as never before into a digital world. Here we are in it right now. Naturally, things have been moving more and more in this digital direction for some time now. In a way, that's fortunate, since it has given us lots of options during the pandemic that we would not have had 20 or even 10 years ago. But it is also highlighted for us what is missing in the digital virtual world. Being able to sing and make music together in real time is missing. Tasting things together is not yet truly possible in the virtual world. For better or for worse, smells don't yet travel in the virtual world. But more than anything, I think most of us are missing touch, human touch, holding hands during our closing words, hugging each other in the pews and in the vestry. Just a simple hand on the shoulder after we've shared a joy or a concern. Touch. The connecting and healing power of touch is sorely missed. This is a very hard part of these socially distanced times, and there is not yet a safe way around it. My heart goes out especially this morning to those of you who live alone and perhaps have not had a real hug in months. How I wish I could hug you now. My heart also goes out this morning, especially this Remembrance Sunday, to those who were not able to touch loved ones as they were dying this past year, who perhaps were not able to visit in person. I cannot imagine how hard that must have been. My own personal loss this year was Tom Cowan, our beloved FCU member and office administrator. Blessedly for me and for several of us, we were able to visit and touch him in the hospital since he passed away in early March, just before the quarantining really began. I'm so sorry for those who have not been able to touch a new baby in your circle or to travel to them. Though the good news is that with any luck at all, you will be able to do that in the relatively near future. But the lack of closeness and touch has been oh so hard. If there's any silver lining in this lack of physical closeness, perhaps it gave some of us a jolt. Those of us who have spent more and more time in the digital virtual world over the past decade plus, perhaps it gave some of us a jolt that there truly is no replacement for in-person contact and connection. There's nothing else like it. It's such a fundamental part of being a living creature on this planet. Even we clever humans who have invented so many amazing things cannot truly replace the in-person experience, and particularly touch. And I doubt that any of us who have experienced this pandemic as adults will take in-person contact for granted again. For now, and until it is safe to touch again and to be in person again, we touch each other the best we can in the ways that we can. We touch each other with words. We touch each other with the sharing of audio and visual delights. We touch each other with laughter. We touch each other with caring gestures. In the end, a human being born and a human dying is sacred, and it is an earthy business. Being born, one human from another, could not be any earthier. And dying, going back to the earth, it speaks for itself. Together in this spiritual community, we often reach for the sky together. We're often looking for inspiration and new heights of transcendence. We remind ourselves that we are star stuff, and I imagine that will always be a part of what we do. But this year, and this Sunday in particular, is also a reminder that the body is still a crucial part of the mind, body, spirit trinity. We don't die like the moon and other celestial bodies, as our story from Madagascar reminded us today. We die like banana trees. We are star stuff, yes, but by way of the earth. To state the proverb in reverse, be noble, for you are made of stars. Be humble, for you are made of earth. Together in this spiritual community, we don't just reach for the sky, we also touch the earth and its gifts, just as we lovingly and caringly touch one another. Friends, we will be in person to hug and hold hands again. Please keep yourself well so that we will all be here together when that time comes, holding hands, hugging, and singing together in real time. May that day come soon. Blessed be, and amen.
Our closing hymn today is number 301, Touch the Earth, Reach the Sky. Sing along with you all. You'll hear the congregation singing. I wanted to point out that this hymn was written, both music and words, by Grace Lewis McLaren, and she has her master's degree in music, and she works at a UU church in Maine. So she's close by, and she has written several hymns for our hymnal. So here is 301, Touch the Earth, Reach the Sky.
Friends, it is time for our closing words. And I want to invite you to put your hands up on the screen and sort of virtually hold hands. Feel the energy from the tip of your middle finger, if you're able, and send out that loving energy for our closing words. Life is a mystery. We are lent to each other for just a short and precious while. May we enjoy all the gifts that we can in this lifetime, the gifts that come from the earth, not least of which are our fellow human beings. May we treasure our time together always. May we remember those that we have loved and lost. May their memory be a blessing. And may we cherish indeed and help to raise the beloved new life in our midst. May we go in peace. Blessed be, and amen.
Our postlude features members of the church choir. This is I've Got a Name by Jim Croce. It was a song that we've been working on for a while in preparation for this service, and I'm very happy to present it to you today.
Sing